Right, afternoon, everybody. So, episode 2 of the Sawley Spotlight, and we are very, very fortunate to be joined today by another one of our own, Rachel Hopkins. Hi, Rachel. How are you doing? All right?
Good afternoon.
Thanks for joining us. Rachel is the Women's and Girls Cricket Development Officer up in Durham for Durham Cricket, and she also plays professionally for the Northern Diamonds, which I think is coming up again soon, Rach. Is that right? Is your competition coming up again soon?
That's right, yeah. So we've been lucky enough to be training throughout COVID, obviously being on the elite banner. So we've been training from January through to March, based down in Leeds at Headingley, which has been great, to use those facilities a couple of times a week. We've been involved in like little COVID bubbles. So over the next few weeks, we're actually going to do some full squad stuff, which is really exciting. Looking forward to that.
Excellent. Obviously, apart from yourself, what big names have the Northern Diamonds got in the squad this year?
Other than myself, I suppose we're very lucky. We've got Jenny Gunn, who's I was a bit of a fangirl actually. My first training session was quite embarrassing, I must say. I grew up watching her on the telly, and obviously she's a local Notts girl. So yeah, it was quite surreal actually. We're obviously headed up by Danielle Hazel, and we've got Lauren Winfield Hill, who dips in and out whenever she's not on international duty. It's a mixture of a wealth of experience. We're probably one of the oldest squads within the competition, but lots of young guns coming through as well. So yeah, good mixture.
Are you still a young gun?
I think so. Up here I am. Whether or not other people see that, yeah, I think I'm 28 now. I'm going to be 29 this season. But yeah, it's the highest standard of cricket that I'm playing at 28. I probably wasn't expecting it at 28. But I've definitely jumped in 2 feet, and I'm taking the bull by the horns. Absolutely, yeah, at 28.
Brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. And I will say at this point, and again, I said this in our previous episode, we're so proud of you. We really are, as a club. I said already, you're one of our own. It's fantastic to see you. We saw you a couple of times on the TV last year. There was a massive buzz around the club. There really was. I know you had a pretty good competition last year, didn't you? Ultimately ended in slight disappointment, but do you fancy your chances this year?
Yeah, it was a weird one for me last year, actually, because personally, I wanted to, obviously, as a batter, you want to score more runs, and you want to, be scoring 50s as many times as you can. I felt quite disappointed last year, so the final was tough to take, but it's what happens now in professional sport. You've got people fighting for places all the time. We've got a really competitive squad. I think this season's a big mindset change for me, and I've had to change quite a bit, and my mindset especially, work harder, don't have many rest days because I want to be better, and the older I've got, the more I've sort of bought into that. It's the same with all of the other girls. We want to be better. We want to be challenging for spots all the time. So yeah, fingers crossed for a successful season. And we'll just see what happens, I think.
Brilliant. Well, we look forward to seeing you again. Sky got coverage of that again this year?
Yeah, I think they will do towards the back end. As it was last year, there's going to be live streams throughout all of the games I think the Diamonds are actually looking for a commentator, actually, if you fancy yourself, Jeff.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I'll get my CV sent. Yeah, if you could put a word in, that'd be fun.
Yeah, no, I think all of the games will be covered somehow, and then as we progress into the final stages, fingers crossed, we'll be on the telly box again.
Brilliant, fantastic. Right, so if you can, Rach, and actually I think I probably know your story quite well, but some people won't. But can you sort of tell us about your links from at Sawley Cricket Club, when you first became involved, how you became involved, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we're going back many years now, Jeff. I think we actually had this conversation in the family group chat the other day, because we had to do a bit of a thing for the Northern Diamonds. And I think we've agreed I was about 7 or 8 probably when I first came across to Sawley and Long Eaton Park. Obviously, Dad moved from Lamley, moved to the area and started playing there himself. And then I think from the age of 7 or 8, I don't think I ever left for about 15 years, which was, it was amazing. It was a massive part of my childhood, and it sort of shaped me into the player I am, I guess. And I'll never forget the roots, and I'll never forget those years that I had at Sawley. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I think from our point of view as well, Rach, you were our first, if you like, real girl cricketer, and you sort of flown the flag for Sawley. And I know that the kids particularly, they still look up to you. They know you because you've kept the links with the club. I saw you down there last summer. I think it was last summer we caught up. We'd love to see you again, whenever possible. Come down for a bit of warmth from up there. But yeah, like I said earlier, we're so proud of you and what you've done. Just touching on that then, so you've been a bit of a trailblazer, I suppose. You were the first female cricket captain within the Derbyshire County League, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was right. Yeah, it was, quite unexpected, I think. I remember being, I can't remember whether it was an AGM or a players meeting or something like that. Richard Lawton threw my name into the hat, basically. And then, it was a bit of a whirlwind after that. But probably something I wasn't expecting, but again, it helped shape me, and you have to learn quickly, as you know yourself. Yeah. You'll learn a lot about yourself within a short amount of time. Yes, I enjoyed it. I don't think captaincy, it's one of those jobs, isn't it? You've got to be a true gritty character. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I got the experience of it. I think the year after was probably when I enjoyed my cricket actually the most. I think you put a lot of pressure on yourself as a captain. I think being a female captain as well in that environment, I think throughout my entire Sawley and Long Eaton career, I've had comments every week, but I suppose it was one of those things that never really affected me too much. But then once the captaincy came, I suppose that came with a little bit more. But again, I think, it teaches you how to deal with certain things. You grow thicker skin. I think Dad enjoys some of the Barneys that we had on the field. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, good. From what I remember, it was pretty successful. And like you say, I think you learn a lot about yourself as a captain. And just stop playing. And I would be a different captain now than I was, because I was quite a forthright captain. Should we go for?
Oh, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, you've played under my captaincy a little bit. But I think that the key thing to take from that is that us as a cricket club, Sawley Cricket Club, we like to think, and I think, we've proven historically, we give the juniors, the younger members a chance to come through the ranks, which I think certainly applied to you. But also there are opportunities within the club for, men, women, boys, girls, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And I think I've been very lucky. A lot of girls who go through certain cricket clubs don't have an amazing experience like I did, and I have nothing but fond memories of my cricket club. And I was completely accepted from when I was 7 and 8 all the way through to when I was 25, 26. I was accepted as a player. It doesn't matter whether I was a male or female. I was there on merit, and the club were really good with that. And I'll always be appreciative of that.
And you've hit the nail on the head, Rach. You were accepted because you were there on merit and you were good enough. And then you became a lot better than good enough for some of us. You certainly put some of us to shame in the field, but I'm not going to include myself in that, but there you go. So brilliant. It's great to hear about your days, and hopefully one day, do you miss playing for Sawley?
I do, yeah. And a big part of that for me was I got to play with my dad throughout a lot of my career, and obviously my little brother Kieran, and my uncle actually. I think at one stage it must have been Sawley 5th team back in the day when we had the 5th team. There was 4 Hopkins that we used to turn up every week, and it was real, and again something that will stay with me for a long time.
I love it how you still call him your little brother, Kieran. That tickles me every time that does. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. We'll come on to him.
Always with it today.
We'll come on to him at the end again a little bit. So As you'll have seen from our previous episode, some sort of quick fire questions. And like I said last time, real gritty, nuggety stuff this. So straight in, quick fire answers. Tea or coffee?
Coffee for me.
Ketchup or brown sauce?
Ketchup, but I do like brown sauce, but I have to pick two, but I'll go ketchup.
Now, we're not even going to get into the situation about what we call a cob, because obviously you being up in the northeast, that's just a cob.
Still, Jeff, it's still a cob to me. They don't know what it is, but it's still a cob to me.
Brilliant. Flying the flag for the Midlands. I like it. Brilliant. Box sets or movies?
Box sets, probably.
And what are you watching at the moment?
I've just finished Your Honour on Sky Atlantic. I recommend that with Bryan Cranston. It's one of the best things I've watched. Very good. That's
the second time in 2 days I've had that recommendation, but beginners, it's from you. I'm going to get on that, so definitely. Your favourite ever sports star?
Growing up for me, I was cricket mad, and Dad was obviously exactly the same. So we had cricket on all the time. So I think for me it would have been Freddie Flintoff, and another big one for me was Darren Gough, probably. So Freddie for me was a game changer. I loved him as an all-rounder. Goughy, obviously starting out myself as a bowler, and his cheeky personality was one to watch, wasn't it?
Excellent. Proudest professional moment?
Yeah, probably receiving the call, Danielle Hazel giving me the ring to say that, I've made it into the Northern Diamond squad. I was really shocked, actually, because, like I touched on earlier, I probably wasn't in the best form. But yeah, she gave me the call, and I was over the moon. It's probably something I wasn't expecting, to be able to call myself a professional cricketer at 28. When I was younger, it's something that I wanted, but sort of fell away by the wayside, really. But I think that's one thing that I would always say to any young cricketer, really, is, never give up. And if you want something, work hard enough, and eventually, you'll get there. And sometimes it's not always in a straight line. You'll take a couple of detours, but yeah, if you work hard enough, you'll get there.
Brilliant. Very, very wise words. Thanks, Rach. So you touched on this earlier. You started as a bowler, but batting or bowling?
Oh, fielding. Can I say?
I was thinking, shall I put fielding in as well? But no, come on, batting or bowling?
Yeah, batting for me. Bowling, I've not really touched it for a couple of years. I keep trying to persuade Danny to let me bowl some darts, actually. I might have to have some one-to-ones with you, so you can give me some wise words.
I can certainly teach you how to not spin the ball, so yeah, no problem.
Yeah, batting for me, yeah. I love it. Opening up anywhere, really. As obviously you want to be up top, but I'll take anywhere. I love it.
Proudest Sawley moment?
I suppose, I don't know, you'd probably expect me to say being captain, but you might remember this. My last game for Sawley was with the first team, and I finished it, and I played with my dad for the last time. And it was really emotional, actually. I was never ever expected to get emotional about it, but it just felt like we'd come full circle, really. We started when I was 7 and 8, and then my dad used to coach me when I was under 11s, under 13s, stuff like that. And yeah, going through the fourth team, eventually finishing up in the first team for my last game was really, really special, actually.
I do remember it, actually, now you say that. I remember being a little bit emotional myself, and I know for a fact your dad was extremely emotional. So yeah,
really shocking. I don't think, like you said, I miss Sawley, and I never ever expected to, but I suppose you take for granted a little bit when you're involved in it all the time, and then once you step away, it's something that I've never been able to recreate up here, because I grew up with you guys. You've watched me from when I was 7 and 8, and being able to play with my dad. And a lot of people, I don't know whether you have it with Josh, some people don't enjoy playing with their dad, but I absolutely loved it.
I must say we did it a couple of times, and that to me was my sign that I'd done what I needed to do as well. So within my cricketing life, shall we say. We batted together, we bowled in tandem. I even managed to take a catch off his bowling at one point. Really, that was the killer. I was thinking, right, I'm going out now then before I keep dropping them again. So no.
Yeah, if you drop that.
Yeah. So that brings us to the last one, and like I said, we had this in episode 1. So what I'm going to call the killer question. This for me has been ratcheted up, I think, by your little brother Kieran, who it seems to me to have a bit of an inferiority complex, Rach. I'm not going to lie. Kieran often claims, from what I see, particularly on social media, that he is the best Hopkins cricketer.
Yes, he has said that a couple of times, but one thing I can confirm, he can hit the ball further than any of us, absolutely. But I would say that I've got the edge on him slightly. I think I work a bit harder than Kieran. He's naturally talented. He can do what he wants, eats what he wants, drinks what he wants, doesn't do a lot of fitness, and still rocks up on a Saturday and could probably whack the ball 90 metres. But yeah, I think I've got a bit on him still.
Yeah, well, you've got my vote, definitely, and I'll tell him that when I next see him. But Dad's not even come into the equation. Does Dad not even fit into the? No.
He's nearly 60 now. Can he come into the equation still? He'd want to. He'll watch this. He'll be screaming at the both of us, won't he? Probably.
I'm sure he will. Yeah, but like I say, you get my vote anyway. So, absolutely fantastic. Thank you for joining us. As a club, we wish you all the best for everything in the future, but particularly for this coming summer when we hope to see you in action for the Northern Diamonds. I hope you get a bucket load of runs and your hard work pays off. So thanks ever so much for joining us. I've really, really enjoyed it. It's great to catch up with you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Cheers. Thanks a lot, Rach.
Hello.